Hello, everybody. This is Amy Homewood. I'm so happy that you're on. We do have a nice crowd coming on here tonight. I wanted to share this way of discussing our business opportunity to kind of give you guys a little bit of a taste of what I'm excited about with this business. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background, but I just want you, while you're listening to this, to ask yourself if this is something that you could share with other people, because the simplicity of what we're doing is just absolutely groundbreaking. And that's what I want you guys to think about while I'm having this 15-minute conversation with you. So my name's Amy Homewood. I've been a financial advisor since 1986. I went to college at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C., and I studied international business, and I studied Japanese. And at that time, I wanted to have an international global business and really in the financial services industry. And that's what I ended up doing. I'm 57 years old now. I actually retired when I was 50 from the financial planning industry and had a great career in that. But as we've seen the economy change and being in business and also working with entrepreneurs, helping them with their wealth preservation, helping them with their, with how to accumulate wealth and also to preserve it. And also we were doing a lot of tax planning. I ended up seeing and observing entrepreneurs through the 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s. And as we've seen technology change, I was very fascinated with the ways that entrepreneurs were shifting their business to be able to capitalize on technology. And that was something that was very intriguing to me. I also simultaneously was an investor in the wellness sector, because this is one of the fastest growing and emerging areas in the economy right now. And I was introduced to a publicly traded company about 5.5 years ago that I observed to be the most pioneering, innovative wellness company that I'd ever seen. And I have a disease called Lyme disease. I've had it. I was diagnosed in 2002 with that. And I had a lot of challenges with my health. So while I was working, building my business, being an entrepreneur, I had to deal with these health issues. And I think a lot of us have these things as we're aging. We're seeing our parents, we're seeing, so many different health issues with people, and people really looking for alternatives. And this was something that I was seeking, was a better way for me to manage my health. And so I was a very big advocate of supplements, and I was using 30 to 40 supplements a day. And I know that might sound like a lot for some people, but when you have Lyme disease, there's really no medication that you can take. So this was something that I actually had to learn about. And I became fascinated with an area of science called nutrigenomics, which is something that most people have never heard of. I do encourage you guys to look that up. It's a new category, nutrigenomics. And what that means is we're looking at nutrition. So the foods we eat, the plants that we consume, the coffee, the tea, all the different things that we're ingesting into our bodies, including supplements, those are all things that are nutrition to the body. And so whether they're good or bad nutrition is going to actually have a result in the body. And we're seeing that. We have an obesity crisis. We have a health crisis in the United States, and most of it's centered around a Western diet. And so I had to really take charge of this in my life, because Lyme disease is an inflammatory condition, and I think a lot of people know people that have chronic inflammation. So I was learning about supplements, and I was learning about nutrigenomics, which is, well, how could I change my diet for me to get a hold of my health? And there's a category on top of nutrigenomics, which is called biohacking. And this is something that's become somewhat more popular, like in the last 5 years, where we're looking at how the changes we can make in our body from these foods actually change the expression of our genes, the actual blueprint of our bodies, our DNA. And again, look that up, biohacking. You can look it up online. There's a lot of companies out in California and Silicon Valley that are creating products, more biohacking around brain health and brain performance, because so many of us, with all the technology that we're using and also just the stress that we're under and the busy lifestyles that we have that are kind of 24/7, are getting tremendous amount of brain fog and exhaustion. So biohacking is a category that's become very popular for people that want to improve and enhance their brain performance. And so now this biohacking and nutrigenomics story, through the company that I'm working with, that I started working with about 5.5 years ago, they've developed products that are meeting the needs of the consumer that's an innovative, more advanced consumer that's looking for science-based, plant-based nutrition. There are so many people, you guys know, you're watching it happen in business right now. You're looking at Whole Foods, you're looking at these stores that are bringing more healthy products to us. We're looking at, like, look at how Amazon just bought Whole Foods. I was actually at a entrepreneur summit called Conscious Capitalism, which is 300 CEOs from around the United States that are all looking at how we can make products better. And this is a whole new category where they look at put technology on top of a Whole Foods. We're actually having clients and customers be able to buy things online, be able to get access to products faster, is taking that technology and putting it in the food industry. And that company has grown exponentially since that merger. And there was a lot of concern that, you know, this new technology with Amazon would kind of ruin that type of a business model. And when in fact, it's making it so much more easy for people to shop. And we're seeing now people wanting to buy things online. So I wanted to affiliate myself with a company that was moving in that area of not only the technology around nutrigenomics and how nutrition and plants can help change the expression of genes and make the body biohack itself and perform at a higher level, but to be able to couple a business model on top of that for people to have access to these types of products online through a direct-to-consumer business model where I can actually, as an entrepreneur, be involved in making money at that. And so finding a company that was traded on the NASDAQ exchange that had these new products that are pioneering this new category that has science to prove that the products I'm using, that I was trying to achieve a better state of health for my body, now has scientific validation that these things are actually happening in my body to reduce a condition called oxidative stress, which, you guys, is the root cause of disease in all mammals, is this rusting from the inside out. And so this is something that people are just starting to learn about too, because doctors don't measure oxidative stress when you go to the doctor. They don't measure that free radical damage in the cell that's actually the root cause of diseases and aging in all mammals, because there hasn't been a solution for that. So now what we know is that these plants like turmeric and milk thistle and green tea and these amazing new technologies that are being put together in formulas that have been used for thousands of years, but the way they're packaged together and the way that the science works to show that we can actually improve at the cellular level the aging of our body. And to actually be able to validate that with science, and with the company that I'm working with, has 27 peer-reviewed published studies that talk about how the products actually improve the body at the cellular level, and they're proven to do that. And so I decided to get involved in this company, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this just quickly tonight for about 15 minutes. The way that people can get involved in business today. So as an entrepreneur, and I know many of us have tried to be in our own businesses, a lot of people don't succeed at that. It's not easy to be your own business owner. And most of the time, the failures are around, you know, managing a business, renting space, having to lease, you know, an office space, having to hire employees, having to manage people. And then also, whatever that business is that you're running, having to manage that business. And there's a lot of moving parts, and it's very expensive. So it's almost impossible today to get into a business without investing about $100,000 at minimum into your business. And then, as you guys know, about 90% of all businesses fail. And so within the first like 3 to 5 years, I was a financial advisor for family businesses. So I got to see generational companies where even you have a hugely successful business, but by the third generation, there's failure because there's just not that transfer of knowledge that not everyone's good at running a business. So you have to think of this yourself. You know, if you were running a business, you know, what kind of business would you want it to be? And for me, I didn't want that bricks and mortar business anymore. I didn't want all those employees. So at 50 years old, I was able to walk away from that. And I took a year off, and I wasn't really sure what the next thing was going to be. But I knew for me, I wanted it to be something I could build online. I wanted it to be with a company that had very solid financial structure to it, that was not a company that I would have a risk getting involved in. And I also wanted to be able to capitalize on leverage, where we're looking at exponential growth, where there's products that are moving exponentially through networks. And this is where when you think about even like the largest, most successful companies in the world today, even though they may not be moving through a network per se, a network marketing type of a structure, but like an Apple, that moves through a network of people that are talking about products, that are talking about, oh, what are you using? What's the latest product? Even like Airbnb is another example, because people are renting homes and they're saying, oh, I went and used this. You should try this place or that place. We're all talking about these things and we're sharing information, and we're able to actually go online and work and get things that we need online today. Uber, I don't need to call a taxi anymore. I can just hit a button on my phone and the credit card's in there. Like, that's the kind of business I want to have for the next 50 years of my life. I want to be able to have somebody just click on a button and get what they want and what they need. And I know that people need these products, these nutrigenomics biohacking products. There are going to be millions and millions of people all over the world, once they know about these products, that want them. So I've been able to build a huge international business in the last 5 years that is actually mind-boggling to me, that I've been able to do this, working with other entrepreneurs that also want to work in this fashion. And they also want to be involved in innovation around the new economy. They want to be involved in wellness. They want to be involved in the wellness revolution, you guys, which is the next trillion-dollar industry. The largest economic trend in world history is around wellness. Like, you can't even wrap your head around it because it's so big that they can't even quantify the numbers of how big it's going to be, because we're talking about genetics. We're talking about how genetics are going to change everything about how we live our lives, the way we take medication, the way we eat foods. Everything's going towards a more personalized approach for each of our DNA. And you guys, we're just seeing this unfold right now, even more just with Ancestry.com and 23andMe, where people want to know where they came from. They want to understand better, you know, what their heritage is, and also to learn about potentially any mutations they might have in their body, so they can start to like figure out a way to turn back the clock in their bodies if possible. And only 2% of our DNA, they found, is coded even for any potential disease that you might have inherited from your ancestors. If you guys want to learn about that, there's a book called Super Genes, which is written by a guy named Rudolph Tanzi, which is one of the head physicians at Harvard Medical School. And he wrote a book with Deepak Chopra, and it's an incredible book. It's called Super Genes. And anyone can read that book. And I'm telling you right there, if you read that book, you're going to learn about the next trillion-dollar industry and how we can capitalize on it from one little piece, which is these nutrigenomics products that are totally changing the way that people are going to age. And we happen to represent the first company in the world that has scientific validation that we have something that turns back the clock and slows down the aging process. And this has never been heard of before. So I wanted to share this little short story with you guys. I know you've been invited by somebody. If you want more information about this, who we are, what our company is, what our business model is, and how we're bringing this out and showing people this new way of working in the new economy, you can invite people onto these launch calls. We're going to be having them once a week, and we're also doing them just specifically for people that invite, their own friends on to hear about what we're up to, and make it really short and sweet and simple to kind of just give you guys a little bit of excitement about what we're onto. And if you want to know more about it, there is another call at 8 o'clock Eastern time that's going to actually go through slides with a webinar. So if you guys are interested, whoever invited you on, they'll give you that information. But I just want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's 7:14 right now. I have 1 minute left. Can't tell you how excited I am about the future of our company, where we're going, and we're just getting started, and we would love to work with you, with people that really have a passion for helping others and that really want to change their lives and be part of something really important that's changing the world. We would love to talk to you more. You guys have a great night. Thank you.